Hello, this short video will introduce you to Parlay's skills-based assessment framework and our approach to assessing student-driven discussions. As students are participating in a Parlay discussion, they are actively practicing their critical thinking and communication skills. Our framework is designed to target the key skills that students practice during the written and verbal roundtable. Once students have entered the main discussion, you're able to go through and start reading through student submissions. You can click on any of the student submissions and it will open up into two sections. You can toggle between the comments that have been made on the personal submission or the assessment. Once in the assessment, you can go through and you can assign tallies for every time a student has challenged an idea, made connections, offered new insights, asked thoughtful questions, and used evidence. It's important to note here that you're not only assigning tallies for their personal submission, but also for their participation in general throughout the discussion. Here you can also offer private feedback for students, and you can edit this at any time. You can also see saved or suggested feedback as well to make the process smoother for you. You can also go through and see all the comments that student has made on other student submissions, which makes your assessment a little bit easier. In the summary section, you can see class-wide analytics based on the written roundtable that you have just run. You can see participation data about student responses and comments. You can see the average comment length. You can also see a keyword cloud, which has the most recurring words across all student responses. Lastly, you can see our comment cord, which is a summary of comments and replies made between students. You can also go in and select the individual summary, so you can scroll down and you can see all of your students and whether or not they have completed their submission, their word count, and what percentage of other comments and submissions have they read. You can also see whether or not you've given them feedback or not. If you click on Settings and scroll down, you will be able to edit your assessment criteria. You can turn assessment on or off by toggling this button here. You can also set a max score if you'd like to assess on the scale of a rubric. If you scroll down, you will see Parlay's 5 key assessment criteria that we use to assess student-driven discussions. Students will challenge ideas, connect ideas, offer new insights, ask thoughtful questions, and use evidence to support their claims. Throughout the discussion, teachers can choose to assess using a tally system where they can assign a point for each time a student has demonstrated a particular skill. So don't worry, again, you can choose to assess based on a maximum score if you so choose, but we find that for our discussion activities, the tally system works really well. You can also scroll down and you can actually edit and create your own success criteria for your assessment practices by adding this in at the bottom gray box and clicking the Add button. You can also go in at a later time and edit your assessment points as well. During the discussion, you can find all of the assessment features under the participants list on the right-hand side. If you click in on a student's name and scroll down, you'll be able to assess students based on your preset criteria and assign tallies. You can also scroll down and offer private feedback to each student. Below there, you'll see participation details for each student. You'll be able to see how many times they were in the speaker position and a breakdown of their tap-in types. So how many new ideas, build-ons, challenges, questions that they have brought forward during the verbal discussion. If you go to the top right-hand corner of your screen and click on Student Reports, you'll be taken to a summary of the student's skills development over time. You can filter by the particular skill that you'd like to focus on, and you can have a look to see how this student compares to the class average over time. If you scroll down, you can take a look at the written roundtable engagement for the student, and you can look at their total contributions and see how they're trending over time. Lastly, you can look at the verbal roundtable engagement and look at all of the different tap-ins that the student has used throughout the course of your semester. You can also see how much time that student has spent as speaker and whether or not it's trending upwards or downwards. If you toggle over to the discussion section of student reports, you'll be able to see all of the contributions that student has made within their discussions. You can also quickly jump to the RoundTable in particular. You can look at how you assess that student and reflect on that as well.